It's another Nate Ladd edition, number 109 of the Mizzle and Dub Show. I'm Dub, and joining me for tonight is Richard Pryor.
Oh,
Richard
yeah,
Pryor is our special guest. But
and read the shirt. This is how I'm feeling.
Needless to say, but before we get into recapping week 4 that was of the National Football League, which again, by the way, we thank you for joining us. Um, Real quick, gonna touch on a couple of things before we hop in week 4. So the finale has been set, the teams have been set, the seedings have been set in the Major League Baseball playoffs. Um, there was one division that was not claimed. It was claimed today as those feisty, pesky Houston Astros, the last day of the year, get the win over the Diamondbacks 8-0 as the Mariners spoiled the Rangers' chances of winning the West, even though the Rangers and Astros both finished with identical 90 and 72 records. The Astros won the season series, so that's why they get the tiebreaker, and that's why there is no game 163 for the American League West. But nonetheless, the dates are set, so obviously the Orioles and the Braves have their respective home field advantages throughout the entirety of the league playoffs, and the Braves overall have home field throughout the whole entire World Series if they were to get there. So,
They will.
As it stands, your division winners in the National League: Braves win the East, Brewers win the Central. That damn team that wears blue in Southern California wins the West. Damn them. That too. Your wild card winners are the Philadelphia Phillies, so the Phillies will get a chance to defend their National League title. This is how they got hot last year as being a wild card winner. Also, kudos to the Miami Marlins. Their 30th year of existence.
Whoa.
Hard to believe. Yes.
We were 10 years old when they got created?
Yes.
And the Rockies?
And the Rockies, yes.
Holy Santa Claus shit.
Yes.
Wow.
The Marlins in their 30th season making moves as the second wild card slot. They will head to Philadelphia to play the Phillies in a 3-game series. So, I mean, as it looks, you have division battles. Well, I'll say it like this. In the slot where the Braves are, it will be an all National League East division series until they get to the NLCS.
Oh, okay.
But the Marlins and the Phillies will play the Braves in the NLDS, obviously. The Milwaukee Brewers and the Cardinals will play in the wild card slot. It's the second time the Brewers and the Diamondbacks have played in the postseason. They met back in the 2011 division series, which went the full 5 games, and the Brewers won that in 5. So that'll be the second time they're meeting, and the winner of that series will play the Dodgers. So the Diamondbacks could possibly see the Dodgers again in the NLDS. In the American League, the Orioles, of course, we know the 1 seed, the Astros 2 seed, the Twins 3 seed, and your wild card winners are the Blue Jays. They're the 6 seed. So Brandon Belt gets another shot for another ring. Good for him.
Hey, here we go.
And of course, Bruce Bochy, 3 years away, comes back, leads the Rangers to the playoffs.
Like he never left.
And they'll take on the Rays. So the winner between the Rangers and the Rays, which the Rays, by way of their fantastic season,
and
as if I can find the standings here, as we'll go to the tail of the table, the final standings.
Tampa Bay should have a World Series ring. I'm sorry. Tampa Bay should have a World Series ring.
Well, you know, they decide to stick to their analytics and take out Blake Snell, even though Blake Snell was dealing in Game 6. to which the Dodgers
Well,
could not figure him. But
and
we have told that story so many times before.
yeah,
Yes,
we're not
and
gonna get that.
yes, analytics can go to hell, and I say that very passionately about analytics. But anyhow, the
I
Rays who won 99 games, the Blue Jays won 89 games, the Twins won 87 to win the Central, and of course the Astros and the Rangers tied, but the Astros have the tiebreaker, so they get to defend their title. The Braves, best record in baseball, 104 wins. Dodgers won 100 games. The Brewers won 92. But some things have to be pointed out. The Cincinnati Reds, they went with the kids, and they got a winning season. The Cubs, unexpectedly, came out of nowhere. They finished with a winning season. Kudos to them. San Diego, the most disappointing team in the league, but they finished with a winning record. Um,
nice.
the
Not
Mariners,
really, but nice.
the Mariners fought to the very end, but finished 2 wins shy of a playoff berth. They finished with 88 wins. And as much as we can't stand them, but credit must be given to them for the 30th consecutive season. The Yankees have a winning record, even though it looked like they were in. Again, can't stand the bastards either, but credit must be given. I mean,
I
since
guess.
night since 19 I get it, but since 1993, they have had a winning season. Their last losing season was in 1992, and I mean, like I said, it was in jeopardy, but it they found a way to get it done. So again, just going back to the matchups again, the Rays and the Rays and Rangers. The last time they met was back in 2016, which was the last time the Rangers were in the postseason, and the Rays won that matchup. Um, the Twins and Blue Jays, no strangers before. These two teams met in the 1991 ALCS, which the Twins won in five, which was the great Kirby Puckett's last World Series ring, as the Blue Jays the next 2 years would go on to the top, but the Twins have
Isn't
that
that the home
advantage.
run he hit in Toronto? That the famous home run? What's that hit in Toronto?
Joe Carter, that was in '93 in Toronto, yes, off of Mitch Williams in Game 6, yes, it was.
Okay.
But Kirby Puckett's home run came in Game 6 against Atlanta in the Homer Dome, of course,
Ah. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
where,
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
where Jack Buck gave the famous "and we'll see you tomorrow night,"
Indeed.
which to which I remember that. Yet me and my granny was watching that game together. Some great times. Actually, that was 1991 and 2001, not involving the teams that you and I root for, was probably the two best World Series I've watched in my life, because those two was just high full-fledged drama. But Blue Jays and Twins. The Twins have the home field for all three. So here's how it works. So the wild card round is the higher seeded team gets all three games at home if it goes all three games, which you only need two to advance to get to the
Yes.
division series. So with
Yes.
that said, all three games will be at Tropicana Field. All three games will be at Target Field. All three games will be at what used to be Miller Park, Miller Lite for everybody. But of course, always good to hear more Bob Uecker on the radio for the Brewers. And of course, Citizens Bank Ballpark in Philadelphia, which of course, Philadelphia in the postseason, the crowd is a different level and a different story. Trust me, Mizzle would know, being a part of that fan base for sure. So, um, Tuesday is when it all starts.
Okay.
4 games on Tuesday. The first game will start at 12:08 Pacific time, which will be the Rays and the Rangers. You can catch that on ABC. Game 1 between the Twins and the Blue Jays, that'll be at 1:38 Pacific time on ESPN. ESPN2 at 4:08 will have Game 1 of the Diamondbacks and the Brewers, and the nightcap in prime time on ESPN at 5:08 Eastern will be the Phillies and the Marlins. So there you go. And then same teams again tomorrow, same exact order. The Phillies in prime time, and there you go. So if there is a game three for all those, it'll be on Thursday. So 3 straight days of the wild card round. Everybody gets a day off, and then
Okay.
the division series will start on Saturday. So there you go.
Okay.
So
Uh,
Monday,
be, before we step off of baseball, it would be wrong of us if we don't send our condolences to the Wakefield family.
yes, Tim Wakefield, the knuckleballer, longtime major league pitcher,
Lost on both
originally
sides.
originally started with the Pittsburgh Pirates, which some people
Mhm,
forget, but mainly know with the Red Sox.
mhm.
He gave up the home run to Aaron Boone in 2003, but was a part of the Red Sox teams in 2004 and 2007 that won the World Series. Passed away at the age of 57.
54. Was it
Um,
7? Yes.
too
Yes. Yes.
damn young. Too damn young. But also, kind of talked about it yesterday, or the last show we did. But again, um, a lot of people possibly might be hanging up the spikes for a long time. Of course, you see under my name, thank you, Brandon Crawford, for everything that he's done for the Giants.
Just feels that all the things that they're doing for him, his kids turning out the first pitch, and him leading off. It just feels. I know he hasn't announced it, but you saw that with Posey, as we said, and we were talking about the retirement. You saw that with Posey when he was sucking it in at that game. You know, so it just feels like this might be it for the legendary shortstop.
Yeah, but also today, the Cardinals paid tribute to one of their all-time greats in Adam Wainwright, um,
Mm,
who just recently won his 200th game, a key cog on the Cardinals teams in 2006 and 2011 that won the World Series. He was getting his flowers. Zach Greinke, a longtime fixture with the Kansas City Royals, got a nice send off today, which he might be hanging up the spikes. And of course, he will be getting a plaque in Cooperstown in 5 years. Of course, we're talking about the great Miguel Cabrera ending his career with the Tigers, even though he started off as a Marlin, won a World Series as a Marlin in his rookie year. But him getting a send off, and I mean, just hard to believe a lot of these careers are coming to an end. But just to touch back on what the Orioles did, just 2 years ago, the Baltimore Orioles were 52 and 110 in 2021 and come back to go 101 and 61. The
whoa,
Orioles, yeah, the
double,
Orioles, the Orioles did it the right way,
yeah.
um, which is why it's such a great story. Um,
Well, it's a good organization.
yeah, no,
It's
it. If you've been following baseball since um, the '60s and '70s and the early '80s, the Baltimore Orioles was a model of consistency and a model of winning. That's just what it was. I mean, we always want to talk about, the Raider way, the Steeler way, the Warrior way, EIEIO. The Oriole way under Earl Weaver in those 3 decades really, really worked. I mean, we're talking about McNally and Jim Palmer and Eddie
hmm
Murray, and of course,
hmm
we just recently lost what many consider to be the greatest defensive third baseman in the Hall of Famer, the late great Mr. Brooks Robinson. The Orioles just recently lost him, but him,
hmm
the late Frank Robinson, Boog Powell, and Alan Bunry, of course, a young Cal
Cal
Ripken, and
Yes.
and a young
Iron.
Eddie Murray, and all
Yes.
those guys. I mean, the Orioles. I mean, they were always in the picture in the '60s, '70s. They just won a lot of games, so
hmm
they've always done it the right way, and it's been a great story. And anxious to
Yeah.
see how much they can do it. But like I said, the playoffs will start on Tuesday. But before we get into, of course, week four, because this is about recapping week four, there was an event that took place
Oh
at
yeah.
T Mobile Arena on Saturday
Oh yeah.
night. And one Saul Canelo Alvarez continued to show his dominance as he virtually pitched a shutout against Jermell Charlo for Canelo's super middleweight titles. I caught the fight about round 7, 8 on, and just basically from what I saw, if Canelo wanted to finish him, he could have. Um, but one thing is for sure, Terrence Bud Crawford let the world know how he felt, and basically said that Jermell Charlo became a cub and not a lion.
He ain't
But
ready.
well, I said this. Now during his interview with Jim Gray, Jermell said, "I'll fight Bud. Let Bud handle his stuff with Earl Spence." And right when he said that, and I said this on X, and I said this on Facebook, I said, "Jermell Charlo, Bud will stop you. Stop it. Just stop it."
Well, you saw
Just,
you saw what I wrote. What I wrote when I heard it. When I heard that, I'll say this: Charlo did Charlo did put some hands on Canelo. It was rather late, but what did I send? What did I send you earlier? I said Canelo is just eating those. He's walking up and he's walking them down when Charlo was hitting him, and so he didn't establish his jab. It's kind of what I forget the guest we had on the day we were talking boxing, but
KP,
KP,
Kevin
yeah,
Perry.
he pretty much said what was gonna happen. That that fight that we saw was pretty much. I didn't think that it would have been like that. I thought Charlo would have used the jab more to keep Canelo at bay because Canelo was walking him down, and that was. But again,
And here's the thing. And I asked you this, and I'm just like, again, fighters that have the advantage in height and reach, why are you not using that to your advantage?
I can never.
Now,
I can't answer that question. I can't.
and again, and I know some people find Lennox, as some people would prefer him to call, but Lennox Lewis. I know some people call him a quote unquote boring fighter, as some would call
Floyd
the
Mayweather.
current, and some people call the current or one half of the world heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk. They would consider him to be a boring fighter, which, by the way, Fury and Usyk have signed to unify the heavyweight championship of the world. So that might come late this year or early next year. It has been signed. So
I'm all for that. I'm all for
yeah,
that because I
but
would
we'll
love
finally
to
get,
see. I would love to see what Fury can do with Usyk because both of them are.
but you know what
Woo,
though? But you know what
woo.
though? I really don't think that Fury can fluster Usyk because Anthony Joshua tried in the rematch and it did not phase Usyk, and Usyk still stuck to his plan and ended
Yeah,
up beating Joshua again, even though Joshua fought well the second
yeah,
time, but still
yeah.
couldn't crack the code because Usyk stuck to his plan. I don't think Fury can fluster him because we know what Fury's going to try to do. Fury's going to come in heavy. He's going to
We're
try
gonna
to,
try to put the weight
put
on
put
them.
the put the weight on him and lean him, but I just don't think that'll fluster Usyk because again, if
He's a
Usyk can
strong
get on
dude.
the ins if Usyk can get on the inside and work the body, which he's very capable of doing, of course, when you get inside on the body and you're working on a bigger man, when you get to the championship rounds, the bigger man that has the bigger weight starts to tire and the arms come down, and that's where you can go up top. So we're giving you boxing lessons for free here on the Mizzle and Dub Show late at night. But anyhow,
That's why
back
it's
to
called the sweet science.
but but back to Canelo and Charlo. I just don't understand why Jermell, who had a 2-inch height and reach advantage, did not utilize it to his potential. Because I mean, Canelo was hitting with some uppercuts, but I mean, like I said, for for every 2 that you were trying to throw on Canelo, a la like Floyd, would throw you 4 to 6 in counter punches.
Easy
But
landing.
again, but again, like you and I have said many times on this show, Canelo got his doctorate in boxing after he fought Floyd.
Yep.
And what he learned from fighting Floyd, he turned that into what he's been the last almost a decade, which has been pound for pound one of the best. He's definitely up there in the top 5.
Besides that one mishap he had when he took that one L, but
yeah. But I mean, again, fighting Dimitri Bivol, I mean, Bivol's a natural light heavyweight, and he's a powerful man, and he should have done what he did to Canelo, which was beat him soundly.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
We don't need to go down that road again. Anyhow, so next question. I know you said you wanted to see Bud and Canelo, which I agree.
Yes.
We know David Benavidez, who is fighting next month on the 24th of October, has said on every possible outlet he can say it on, Canelo, give me a shot at the belt. Which one of the two is more likely to happen? Do you think Canelo and Bud more likely is going to happen, or to which Bud said, I got no problem going up in weight. So Bud's willing to do it. Bud ain't got no problem because Bud is just Bud. But which one of the two do you see happening first? Bud and Canelo or Benavidez and Canelo?
I would more say Benavidez and Canelo, just for the simple fact of the matter is that not saying that Bud won't get the draw, but I would think boxing will like to see that first. And if Canelo can handle his business with that one, then I think we'll get Bud and Canelo. We'll get it will happen. I just don't think it's going to happen first. I will be shocked if it happens first. Now, don't get me wrong. I would love to see it. And we might have to be there. We might have to be up top in the top, but we got to be there. But I think that we'll get the Benavidez fight first. As much as I would love Bud and Canelo first, that would be awesome. Just don't see it happen.
Well, we shall see what happens. But again, a unanimous decision. I think 118-109 was the average scorecard, so the judges got it right. Which again,
I think that was fair.
There was no Nevada judge. Like I said, there was a New Jersey official, which he did a fantastic job as he always does. So there was no controversy. Canelo clearly won. And there we go. So there was no
8 belts. 8 belts.
It was just for Canelo's side. Charlo did not put any of his belts on the line. So it was just.
Okay. Side. So Charlo could have left all the belts. Okay.
Yeah. Charlo could have had the 8 belts. So Canelo still has his 4 as the super middleweight king. All right. Now to talk about what happened in week 4 of the National Football League. But first, let's go back to Thursday night in Lambeau Field. The Detroit Lions got a nice return from David Montgomery as the Lions win their 4th consecutive game against the Packers.
Did you take the Lions?
Again. I did take the Lions because, like I said, I needed to catch up. So that was one game I did get on you, but
you caught 2.
I got screwed. I got 2, and you got 2.
Yeah, so we broke even.
Yeah, broke even. Definitely broke even. And then there was a couple of ugly L's that you and I both took.
I pretty much know which one those are.
Yeah, but I mean the Lions get the win in Green Bay by a final score of 34-17. So the Lions go to 3-1 and are 1 up in the NFC North.
Wow, which we got them winning division anyway. So
so it's about right. It's really not surprising, but it's just fascinating in how all of a sudden you're seeing a whole bunch of Honolulu Blue in the stands and them being vocal. Like I said, we've been hyping up Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell on the show when they got hired, saying that he will turn it around for the Lions. And you're starting to see it.
Yeah, this
There
is nothing
was
new.
a game in Jelly on London. I said this would be a get right game for the Jaguars, and it was. 23-7 was the final score. Sunshine was efficient. Um, Even though it was in a losing effort, Bijan Robinson, he is that guy. 14
Yes, he
carries
is.
for
Yes, he
105
is.
yards. But the
Yes.
Jaguars did what they were
Who did
supposed
we
to
take in
do.
that?
We both took the Jaguars. I said it would be a get right game, and it was.
Agreed.
Um, so there's nothing to hang your head on there.
Yes.
There was a lot of shockers today in the
Yeah.
NFL. I'm
And,
sorry, I got
and,
the
and,
score. It was
and some,
34-20 Lions with the Packers. Go ahead, sir.
okay. And it was a lot of dumb coaching today in the NFL. A lot of
Yeah,
dumb coaching. And you know what? The refs had their hands in a few games, and I'm not going to like literally watch like how did you miss that? That clearly
yeah. There was a lot of missed calls and a lot of games, but
it was a weird weekend. I'm just going to say it was
yeah.
a weird Sunday.
1 week after they went after well, 1 week after they had their home opener and put up 70, the Bills and Bills Mafia said, Devon, get the tables to a
Yeah,
48 burger over the Dolphins as the Dolphins suffer their first loss of the year as Josh Allen throws for 4, runs for 1, and the Bills
almost got
never
me
looked back.
50 points.
Yeah, Josh Allen was as efficient as you can be, 21 of 25, 320, and 4 TDs. But Mr. Stephon Diggs said, "Hello, get somebody some fantasy points to the atonement
I'm still.
of 6 catches,
Mm-hmm.
6 catches, a buck
Mm-hmm.
20,
Mm.
3 TDs, averaging 20 a catch."
Did you see the one touchdown that he got where he just broke through two tackles and just took off on them?
Yeah, just get off me, get off me, get off me. I have a
All
destination to get to.
determination.
Yeah,
That was all
uh,
determination, right?
yeah.
We took the Bills,
But
right?
no, we both no, we both
I know.
took Miami.
I
Um,
know.
but I mean, hey, when you go 5 or 6 at the red zone, that normally gives you a chance to have you win some games. And speaking of dumb coaching, Matt Eberflus of the Chicago Bears. What? The Bears were up 21-7. Convincingly at that. And you really can't blame Justin Fields because Justin Fields actually played spectacular today.
He
Justin
was
Fields
accurate.
was Justin Fields was 28 of 35 for 335, 4 TDs, one costly interception. DJ Moore had 8 for a buck 31 touchdown. Herbert ran for 103 yards. Even Russ was efficient. Russ was 21 of 28 for 223 and 3 touchdowns. But the Bears were up 28-7.
28-7.
28-7. The Bears were up. And something just clicked for the Broncos. But again, late in the fourth quarter, it's 4th and 1. You're in plus territory.
Give me.
Matty
What's a give
Perflus,
me?
why are you not kicking it? Instead, you give the Broncos life in plus territory. They kick a field goal. Now, eventually, you came down to kick a field goal to tie the game, but let's just say you kick the field goal. Denver kicks it. You get the ball back with a chance to possibly to win it in regulation. Instead, you lose it in overtime, and the Denver John Elways get on the board in 2023, beating the Bears 31-28. Now, this one was a complete shocker, and this is one of the games that you got me on. The Ravens went into Cleveland and just took care of business. Now, granted, Deshaun Watson
No,
did
Deshaun
not do
Watson.
anything,
Yeah. When you made
but
that pick, Deshaun Watson was the starting quarterback.
correct. Um,
So,
Dorian Thompson Robinson will have better days, but the day belonged to Lamar Jackson,
mhm.
showing you why he is a former MVP. And the throw he threw to Mark Andrews on that touchdown, to where only Mark Andrews could get it. I mean, you want to talk about throwing it up top to where letting your man get it. That was as big as it could be.
Confident.
Um, yeah, definitely confident in his arm. You know what he can do with his legs. But the
Yeah.
Browns still at 2-2, now a game back. But the Ravens get the win, 20-3. They go to 3-1, and in full possession of first place in the AFC North. And I tell you what,
I
D'Amico
think I know.
Ryans,
Yeah, I know we
D'Amico
were talking about.
Ryans uh, has got these
Wow.
Texans playing with some confidence because we certainly did not expect this of what happened in Houston,
No, because we
Texas.
don't go against Mike
But
Tomlin. We don't go against
no,
Mike Tomlin.
but the Texans, as CJ Stroud threw for 306, 2 TDs. Fortunately, pick it up with the injuries on Mitch Trubisky had to come in, but um, the combination of CJ Stroud to Nico Collins
Yeah.
is looking very, very nice. Stroud was 16 to 30, 306, 2 TDs. Damian Pierce, 24 carries, 81 yards. Nico Collins, 7 for a buck 68. On a day that J.J. Watt was honored by the Texans, I think they put him in the Wall of Fame, if I'm not mistaken.
I think it could be.
But I mean, here you go. Houston, 2-2, making some noise.
Yes, indeed. And I'm pretty sure you. Yeah, that's right. We took Mike Tomlin.
We
Yeah.
both took the
Yeah.
Steelers, yeah. Both took
Yeah.
Pittsburgh, but
Yeah.
the Texans said, hold it. Um,
Yeah.
will look to be possibly the Panthers' first win, turned into a comeback for the Vikings. And again, Kirk Cousins wanting you to know, do you like that? Do you like that? Bryce Young did what he could
Yes, indeed.
to rally his troops. The Panthers were up 13-7, but in the third quarter, the Vikings scored 14 unanswered to get on the board
But
in
do you see
2021
why?
or
Do you see
2024.
why the Panthers drafted that young man though? That video I sent you.
Yes,
You.
absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Bryce Young, he is going to be good. He is going to be a good leader of men.
Yes.
Let Frank Wright work with him. Let him put his program together. The
Yes.
Panthers will make some noise in the
I
NFC
mean,
South, but it's the
it was the whole damn near the whole team was listening to him talk on the sideline. That's that he gonna be nice. He gonna be all right. He he'll go through his growing pains, but he'll be just fine. He already has a leadership mentality, so that's it's a high bar right there. So yeah, he'll be all right.
he def, he definitely does. The Rams did everything they could to possibly give this game away. They were up 23-8.
I just think it was the coach played to play better. I think the coach wanted it a little bit more, even
Well,
in that L.
yeah, well, the Colts outscored the Rams 23-3 in the second half. And the Rams just happened to got lucky as Nakua found himself open and just found the end zone. But unfortunately, Matt Stafford
That
hurt his
good.
hip, so now
Uh,
he's hurting. So we don't know how the severity of his injury is. But Stafford threw for 319, um, and Williams again continues to be a big factor in the run game, which is why Cam Akers is in Minnesota. Kyron Williams, the rookie from Notre Dame, just continues to be fantastic in the Rams run game. Again, Nakua, 9 catches for a buck 63, and of course the game-winning touchdown in overtime. Um, Higbee had 5 for 64. Richardson threw for 2 TDs. Zach Moss ran for 70 yards. The Colts came back gave it a valiant effort, but they fall to 2-2. The Rams go to 2-2 as they get the win overtime 29-23. Earlier, I said most teams don't do this when they go to the Superdome, but the Tampa Bay Buccaneers respond after losing at home to the Eagles. They go to the Superdome in a huge matchup with NFC South implications. And Baker Mayfield throws for 3 TDs. He was 25 of 32 for 246, 3 TDs, 1 interception. Very efficient. Chris Godwin. Um, I don't think Mike Evans played in this game. I don't think.
He got hurt.
Oh yeah.
He got hurt.
Oh,
His ham. I think it was
yeah.
his hamstring.
So he left with 3 catches for 40 yards, but Chris Godwin picked up the pace, 8 catches
Yeah.
for $114. Rashad White ran the ball for 56 yards, but it was a very good team win by the Buccaneers over the Saints, 26-9. Just an
Who do we pick?
impressive. I picked the Bucks, you picked the Saints, so that was the game that I got you on. But you got me with the Colts and the Rams because you picked the Rams and I picked the Colts. They like to make it interesting, but the Eagles, they came back as they were down 10 to the Commanders, 17-7.
AJ Brown.
They found a way. Yeah, AJ Brown, 9 catches, $175, 2 TDs. But the Eagles just find a way, and they are 4-0. But Sam Howell played well.
Yeah, he did. He takes a lot of
Played
sacks,
very
though.
well. Yeah, can't do that. Can't. There's trying to extend the play, and then there's being smart with the ball. But you cannot take a lot of sacks. But the Eagles, it was ugly at times, but at the end of the day, they get the win, 34-31. So, are the Cincinnati Bengals feeling the Super Bowl hangover 2 years later, as the Titans handled the Bengals soundly, as we both took the L on that because we both took Cincinnati. 27-3 was the final score. And Mr. Henry said, hi, remember me. I'm still him. 22 carries, $122, and a touchdown. Thank you very much, and eat the stiff arm. But again,
I think for Cincinnati, I think it's Joe Burrow. I don't think Joe Burrow's healthy.
He's not healthy. He's not 100%. He had the calf injury in training camp. Hasn't been able to heal itself right. So, I mean, you appreciate his toughness. You appreciate him trying to be there for the team, but maybe he just needs to rest for a game just so he can get himself right. I don't know.
Maybe a couple of games.
But the Titans get to 2-2. The Bengals go to 1-3. So we'll see how that happens. Can we please stop with this whole Bill Belichick being the GOAT? Please and thank you. Just stop it. When you put his record, when Brady is not there, Belichick is an underperforming coach. There, I said it. The Cowboys get the win. The Cowboys.
The man's got pitched.
Fuck you. and damn Debo for saying that too, with that damn video. Let's make one thing perfectly clear. Let me get this straight. Point this out. I am not a fan of Mac Jones. Never have been. And the fact that Shanahan had a boy crush on him and possibly was going to take him and draft him, I'm like, why? No, don't do that. So, screw Mac Jones.
You guys are fine.
Mac Jones can go have babies with Belichick. I don't care. But the worst loss of Belichick's career, as the Cowboys took care of business, 38-3.
Ooh,
I don't know why Fox still had that game on. The game was over. They could have switched to the Niners and Cardinals, but
that game it was slightly interesting until they just took over.
Yeah. Mac Jones was definitely in a giving mood with the turnovers. as the Cowboys defense scored again. Um, Dak
Not
was 20
shocking.
to 34 for 261, a touchdown. Tony Pollard ran for 47 yards. Ferguson had 7 catches for $177. Yes, Mac Jones was benched for Bradley Zappi, and now we will see if Zappi will get the start next week at home against their opponent, which we'll talk about later on.
Who do you think? Is it going to be Jones or it's going to be Zappy?
It might kind of be the same as tonight. If Jones struggles, Zappi might be coming in. That's just my 2 cents.
Okay.
I call this a trap game, but the Niners took care of business. Christian McCaffrey, how many times are you going to find the end zone, and what capacity are you going to find the end zone in? He
Kid is
went for
special.
4 touchdowns. And I really can't believe some people call that trade a C plus trade or a C minus trade. I'm like, what have you been smoking? What Christian McCaffrey's skill set is just perfect for this offense. It really is. Even though if I have a concern, my concern would be this: they're overhauling him. They need to change the pace. I know Elijah Mitchell did not play today, but you could have used Jordan Mason among others. But sometimes you got to spell him. I know he's going good, and I know he's going through the flow of the offense, but you're going to need Christian McCaffrey for the home stretch, which is the playoffs, because right now you're trying to fight for the number 1 seed. Getting the number 1 seed is also important in the NFL playoffs, but the Niners took care of business 35-16, even though the Cardinals showed some fight. They were feisty. Even got within 5 at one point, but Brock Purdy was outstanding today. Brock Purdy was 20 for 21. I am going to say that again. Brock Purdy only threw 1 incomplete pass. One. He was 20 of 21 for 283 and a touchdown. McCaffrey, 20 for $106. Welcome back, Brandon Ayuk, 6 for $148. McCaffrey had 7 for 71 yards. Yeah, somebody was getting some points, and the Niners didn't fall for the trap. They were not looking ahead to the Cowboys. They get the win, 35-16. Now we've come to the portion to where Mizzle will file his grievances and bring the passion to view the audience for your entertainment and viewing pleasure of what happened in the game between the Raiders and the Inglewood Chargers, which resulted in a Chargers 24-17 win.
They suck.
But it does not tell the story. It does not tell the story. Even though Mizzle went against his beloved Raiders and picked the Chargers to win. So as far as picks wise, he's happy. But as a fan, he's about to unleash why he is not happy as a fan. So, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I give the creator and co-host of the Mizzle and Dub Show, I give the Mizzle Richard Pryor.
Fire Josh McDaniels. First of all, can't coach out. You can't coach out of a fucking barnyard, dude. Like, what the hell? I mean, there was a problem. Khalil Mack damn near had double-digit sacks in one game. Yes, I said that man had 6 sacks, which means that you were putting your quarterback in a bad situation. That means 7 to 8 step drops. It should have been 1, 2, 3, ball come out, especially for your rookie. Put your rookie in better situations. Establish Josh Jacobs because the run game was decent. You know, I think Josh had close to 60 yards because he was doing most of his damage in the receiving game now. See, that's what I like.
He had a good all-purpose game.
Yeah, scrimmage yards he had about 150.
He had 58 yards rushing, 81 yards receiving, Which he was actually the leading receiver on the Raiders. He had 8 catches for 81 yards. Devontae had 8
Yeah.
for 75. But continue.
Mm-hmm. But Jermaine Illuminor gotta go. And not wait, let's go to the first series. Let me step back. How you a cornerback and you offsides? Can you explain that? Can you explain? Bruh, 3rd and 5. Max gets a sack and a fumble. But the play didn't count because the cornerback was off sides. This is the first draw. The Raiders were about to go 3 and out. The cornerback was offside. That's when I knew the game was going to shit right there. I'm like, yep, here we go. This is how it's going to start. So that happens. So you know what happens after you get a fumble and a sack, but the play don't count. They get the ball back, 3 yards, first down.
They go deep.
No, they didn't go deep. They just ran the ball down the field, scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It is so hard to be a Raider fan because I'm more upset, and then more upset that is yes, as a quarterback, you're supposed to protect the ball. You know, you ain't supposed to put the ball on the turf, no interceptions, this, that, and the third. Play calling put that young man in bad situations. Now the interception was on him because we shouldn't have ran that fucking play. They should have ran Josh Jacobs first and goal at the 3-yard line, and you run that play. Uh, uh, uh. You got the leading rusher last year in your backfield. You have a top-notch fullback, and why are we throwing him the ball? He ain't part of the no. His job is to block.
Yeah, he's not a catcher out the backfield like Alex Engel and Marcel Reese. Just saying.
I never wanted this regime. I never wanted Jimmy Garoppolo. Josh McDaniels can go. He can go back to New England. I don't care. I the only bright spot is I kind of really want Patrick Graham gone. But if you look at the stats for the second half, the Chargers didn't score.
They did not. They did
Just
not.
Stat wise, I can't say what I want to say. Stat wise,
Statistically.
yes, Justin Herbert had one of the worst games of the season. They shut him out in the second half. I don't understand how it's the running story with this organization. The offense plays good, the defense plays shit. Defense plays good, vice versa. I don't understand it. It's no matter who's the quarterback, who's the coach. What the hell did Al Davis do? Because now we're like cursed. Okay, Mark Davis I thought had good gracious with the league, but something's not right. It sucks. It's the frustration level is at an all time high right now. And Pops texted me. He said we may not win another game, and I was like, I don't. Hell, you see what the Bears did to the Broncos, and I think what we got Monday night against Jordan Love, and he got his weapons back. I do believe we play the Packers. It's either Monday night or I think, or do we got the
No, you're
Lions?
correct. It is Monday night. No, you guys have the Packers at home on Monday night. Yes.
Thank goodness I'll be at work. And he got his weapon back. The running back for the Packers is Aaron Jones, correct?
Yes.
Buck 75. Easy.
Whoa.
Brother, we can't tackle. Well, we wasn't tackling the first half. See, that's the thing. I can't talk too bad about the defense because they were shitty the first half, but good the second half. There was no
Correct.
complimentary football. There was no complimentary football on the field. Not at all. Josh McDaniels couldn't coach his way out of a porta potty. Yes, I said it. Okay. He put the rookie in bad situations. And that's why I'm leaving it at that. We sucked. The only thing we got is, and I feel so bad for Max Crosby. We're just wasting Devontae Adams' career. I mean, my man had a bum shoulder, and he still went out there and tried to produce.
Which he did. Which he did.
I don't know. I don't know, my brother. I don't know. I just want to know how it is to win. That's all I want to feel. The last time I saw 2000. Yeah, we lost the Super Bowl. That blah blah blah. But I want consistency. I'm tired.
You're tired. Well, I mean, the only consistency you had was those 3 years in 2000, 2001, 2002, and then
3 years.
And then that time you kept having a whole bunch of 8-8s.
I'm 40 years old. I've been a Raider fan my whole life. Yes, as a baby. My dad said it when Raider fan. Boom. Been a Raider fan my whole life. I didn't see them. I didn't see the ups and downs. I didn't see the Super Bowl. I didn't see them start 6-2 and win 2 more games after that. I seen a referee stop Tim Brown from running the crossing route. He was open. Interception, pick 6. I'm never going to leave the ship. I know I'm sitting here talking bad about my organization because they are a piece of shit right now. That's 100%. But it's just frustrating. I don't know how the culture can change. I mean, look at Mike, the safety. He was an excellent tackler when he was in Philadelphia. Yes, but it seems like when we get good players from other teams, they come to this organization and they forget everything. Everything.
It's frustrating for your nation.
Is it basketball season? My Giants ain't about shit. I mean, this is going to be a tough year. The Giants didn't do nothing. Even like I said, a few months ago, they were 1.5 out of first place, and they're not even in the damn playoffs.
Of the division. They were 61-49. 61-49. They just came off taking 3 or 4 from the Diamondbacks, to which, by the way, the Diamondbacks are in the playoffs, which kudos to Torey Lovello and that organization. They had just came off winning 3 or 4 against the Diamondbacks. 61-49.
Okay.
They would only win 18 more games after that. So the demise started after they got swept those 2 games by the dang Oakland A's, who finished in dead last, who will have the first draft pick in the MLB draft.
Bro, listen to this.
Go ahead.
The Raiders haven't scored over 20 points. There's only 3 teams that have not scored over 30 points. And the Raiders are one of them. They finally got a turnover. Yay. But they are Well, you want to be plus or negative. I can't think right now in the turnover differential. You want to be plus,
You,
correct?
you always want to be plus. Yes.
They are -8.
Oh my.
You
Oh
throw
my.
that. So you add in Jimmy's interceptions plus the 3 fumbles that the young man had, and the young man had 4 turnovers today. I mean yesterday, and you add in Jimmy's interceptions minus their turnover today. So Jimmy got what 6 interceptions because
Sounds
he
about
leads the
right.
league, and the young man turned the ball over 4 times today. So that's 10. Take away 1, they're -9.
That's wow. That is wow.
But guess what?
And that's
I'm a
starting.
ride with
What's that?
I'm a ride with this fucking team. My whole even when I perish,
As
I'm
you
still gonna be
as you as you as you always do. I mean,
and
uh,
see when certain I'm gonna say this. When certain fan bases ask me why do I still be a Raider fan, so that lets me know you're only with your team because they're winning, because you won't go through what I'm going through. I'm not saying you because you're gonna ride with your team regardless. You went through the Eddie DeBartolo years,
and
so
I have
I ain't got
seen
nothing to say. You went with Eddie D. You've been through the Eddie D years.
true,
You didn't the Jeff Garcia
but
years. So
after he was forced to sell the team to his sister, and after okay,
they
I'll
got
say
better.
this:
They got
after
better.
2003, from 2004 to 2010 was crappy, 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 crappy. Going through Dennis Erickson, going through Mike Nolan. The
Ooh, I
disappointment was
forgot
Mike
y'all had Dennis.
Singletary. Then, yeah,
The worst was Tom
yeah.
Sewell. That was the worst of the worst.
No, Tom
Ugh.
Sula won more games than Chip Kelly. Chip Kelly only won 2. Tom Sula won 5
Oh, I forgot
because
about Chip Kelly.
because you saw
Oh,
because
snap.
you saw because you got my message, and you know no, actually wait, I take it back. You called me, which is a rarity because he does not call me unless it is something very very important. He calls me, Chip Kelly. That's how you feel, and these are my exact words. Fuck Chip Kelly. Am I wrong? If
No,
I am wrong, Mizzle, please correct me.
no. That's 100% facts. Because
That
when
is
I saw
exactly
when I got that alert, I was like, this ain't even worthy of a text. And
yeah. The
Chip,
man's called me.
Chip, Chip Kelly.
He called me. Actually, I take
And
that
wait,
back.
go
It
ahead.
was him. It was him and our little big brother. It was a three-way when this happened because he wanted to rub it in too, and I was like, "Fuck Chip Kelly."
And
Like,
that's the one time that I was concerned about your organization. No lie. And I got my mouthwash ready for that. I was really concerned. And wait, not even that. I even hit you when I understood why they hired Tom Sula.
so did
I don't
I.
understand. I don't understand why y'all hired Chip Kelly. That's what I was really concerned. Like, whoa. Let me check your post. Let me check your post. You really good?
No, I was not because I was furious with Chip Kelly. I'm just like,
So basically, your emotions is my emotions. When I got the alert, the Raiders are hiring Josh McDaniels. What the
oh
fuck
yeah,
for? Why? Why are we
why,
doing that?
why?
What? And now you see why. It's the same shit that
Well,
happened to the Elways when they hired him.
but
He is slightly like lost the locker room. I'm so sorry. I saw the interviews today with the players. It is so depressed. I mean, it was more. Don't take me wrong when I say this. When the Henry Ruggs incident and John Gruden thing went down, you saw more of a. You saw depression, but then you saw that team, start doing this. But it looks like
They
that
came
when
together. They came together.
there. I don't think there's Josh McDaniels cannot lead men. He may have an excellent playbook, but he cannot coach it. It's the same man that drafted Tim Tebow. I shouldn't have to say nothing else about Josh McDaniels. He's Norv Turner of the NFL. Besides, Norv Turner was a better coach than Josh McDaniels.
Again, he has said it
You know
more than
what?
once. Well,
I've already checked out with hockey. The Sharks ain't gonna be about shit. Okay, I'm already. I'm not even expecting nothing out of San Jose this season. Nothing. Nothing.
which, by the
I
way, shout out to the Bay Area Panthers. They actually won the IFL title, the Indoor Football League title. So shout out to the Bay Area Panthers.
Marshawn Lynch team.
Yes, yeah, they won the IFL championship.
Are you shocked? Look who their owner is. Are you
No,
shocked?
no, I'm not. I'm not. No, not at all. But
I'm
shout out
gonna
to the
say
Bay
this:
Area.
the only hope that I got for anything to be happy about is my damn Florida State Seminoles. That's the only thing I got going. I expect the 76ers to make it to the playoffs, but they're going to run against the Boston Celtics, who just got decent.
Drew
They're going to run
Holiday,
across
yeah,
Milwaukee, who just got better. So yeah,
Damian.
that just put and Atlanta is getting better. So I'll be shocked if the Sixers even may be a 5 or 6 seed. That's being generous.
Oh wow,
Just the way now, my hope right now is that our Golden State Warriors, you know, run the table. That's the only thing I got
which they
going.
can.
I got nothing. The the Raiders are about to be a top 5 draft pick again. We play the Patriots this year,
Again
don't we? We play
and again.
yes
I
because
that's
we play the Jets. So yes,
yes, yes, you do. Yeah,
Mac Jones gonna look like Tom Brady that day. Hell, Zach Wilson probably gonna throw 3 touchdowns, run for one. Brees Hall just gonna run up and down the field. Garrett Wilson gonna probably have the game of his life. They gonna be celebrating, eating hot dogs on the sideline. I, you know what? I'm not. Fuck this organization, man. I just want to be a winner. I just want to feel like okay, I got so much confidence in my team going into this game. They're gonna win this game. I have a feeling. I have. You can pull up the schedule right now, and I probably can. You can pick every team, and I'm like, they're not gonna win. They're not. Hell, the Broncos now got. I mean, excuse me, the Elways now got confidence. Shit. Hell, they fans gonna come to Allegiant and sell out the damn stadium. We got the win in
you're
in,
not
in, in
wrong.
Colorado,
You're
but
not wrong.
hell, the Jets go come. The Packer fans are gonna rule the stadium, bro. They might as well
A
just
lot of
bring the
cheating.
Packers theme song. They might as well bring the
A lot.
Packers music thing. Dun, 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 dun. Go Pack, go. They might as well bring that to Allegiant because that's what's gonna happen.
Oh,
And this is fucked
he
up
is.
because I'm a fan of this team, but I like I said, Josh McDaniels cannot coach himself out of a porter potty. All he got to do is unlatch the damn door and push it open, but he would never figure that out. And you know what? I said, even when I tried to embrace it, because we had a
Mm-hmm.
show where I was like, we're gonna suck. And I'm like, maybe, because you asked me, what if? And I'm like, well, it could be 3 years if he brings what he brought from the Patriots.
Well, we're now in year
They now,
2.
they now have the guys that they want because they cleared out everything that was the Gruden regime, keeping a few players. But you now had a full draft. You brought in your guys, and you're fucking winning three.
But to
I told
go back
you,
to the
I
fact
told
that
you, I told you Jimmy G would be hurt by week 5. Well, he got hurt in week 3.
yes, you did.
I knew the Josh Jacobs holdout was gonna suck.
It's tough these days. It
What,
really
what, what
is
you
tough.
talk about? What you talk about? You 4-0. It ain't tough for
I'm
you.
no, I'm sympathizing because
I don't.
I've been there.
I don't.
You sound like a perfect wrestling heel right now. You almost sound like Terry Funk. I don't need your sympathy.
I, I,
Shout,
I,
shout out to the late great Terry Funk.
hey
Um,
man, I don't.
it's it is tough because you got
All that talent.
the
There is
crowd was
so much
so,
talent on this team.
and not to mention the crowd really showed up in full force at Allegiant South today, to
Ain't
where
that something?
you
Ain't that something? The
and
Raiders,
I
the
never
Raiders
will
got to feel
forget this.
at home in LA
It's
where they should be. They feel they get more love from LA than where they actually play. And you know what? Fuck Jerry
no,
Jones
I
and
just
fuck
go back.
Mizzle, because that's the reason why we're in Vegas. Because the moment they announced that the Rams were bringing a fucking organization back to there, and we're like, oh yeah, we'll let the San Diego, we can let them move up there because you knew the Raiders was gonna run LA. That's why. They knew what was gonna happen if they let the Raiders come to LA. We was gonna run it. So we'll put you in a tourist. We'll put you in a little tourist spot. We'll give you a nice stadium. It'll be state of the art, top 5. But we're gonna go there where people can just fly in, get drunk, and come watch a football game. The black hole is no longer. So nobody should never say anything about the black hole. The black hole is still in Oakland, where they should be playing.
I don't argue that. I mean,
Sorry,
it was
sorry,
just
sorry,
fascinating because
sorry, everybody. I am a real pissed off Raider fan. Um, I love this organization, but they are not giving me what we deserve. We get piss poor coaching. We They can't coach the players they draft. The moment they let Bisaccia go, because that's where it went. Not saying that Bisaccia probably would have got us into the playoffs, but I think he'd have had that locker room more than what McDaniels got. And
well,
I'm
the
done
the
talking.
locker room, like I said, the locker room was together under him. I mean, the man wrote a letter to every single player on the team, thanking them for their hard work. Who does that?
Bisaccia.
Who 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 does that? I mean, I just go back to yesterday. It was like a third and long situation, and you got Max Crosby on defense doing this to the crowd because he knows there's a more representation of Raider Nation than there is Charger fans
In the Chargers arena, though. Stadium.
in the Chargers home that they're renting, that they're paying
Bro,
Stan Kroenke to
bro,
use.
let me tell you this. the last game at Allegiant, the Raiders had to use a silent count in their own damn stadium. Against the Steelers, they had to use a silent count. Who used a silent count at their own home? Well, besides
The Chargers.
SoFi. Yeah.
Yeah, true. So far, true.
Well, hell, even the Rams, they don't
Yeah,
get. SoFi is just like Allegiant.
yeah.
Hell, when y'all go down there, y'all sell the stadium out.
Oh, yeah, we do. When the Cowboys come down there, you see a whole bunch of silver and blue. Yes, absolutely.
Ooh. Let me see what time is it? Are we previewing? Are we previewing next week? Because I sure want to talk about the Cowboys and the Niner game. We can just talk about that game. We can do the preview show later. We can just talk about that game.
Talk about that game right now.
If
Well,
you doubt it, yeah.
well, I mean,
Oh, wait, we got.
it.
Hold on, brother. I'm sorry. We got comments.
Oh, wait a minute. We got.
Vegas does
We
don't
do have
get.
two viewers.
Here we go. There it is.
Vegas don't give the Raiders. Well, here's the thing. Being that I actually live in the market, here's the thing. As beautiful as a stadium Allegiant is, and Allegiant is very beautiful. Mizzle and I have had the privilege of being in there for SummerSlam back in 2021. I've been there for two Raider games, one East-West Shrine game, and it's a beautiful palace. Al Davis would have been proud of this stadium. It certainly is made in its image. Okay, the one thing about sports here in Vegas, which is one of Al's biggest things, is you have to win, and that's the thing. The Raiders have to win. Um, there were no fans here in 2020, so you can call it a wash. Um, in 2021, they showed out. They made the playoffs. They won 10 games. They took a step back under McDaniels last season. They went from 10 wins to 6 wins. This year, they're now at 1 win so far. The thing is, it's not that Vegas doesn't show them love. It's just Las Vegas, as we all know, is a tourist attraction vacation city. It's what it is.
Yeah.
Teams of opposing fan bases will be like, you know what? They're playing the Raiders. They're playing the Raiders this year. Let's go to Vegas because
All right, now
again,
let's go to
I go
Vegas.
back.
Mm-hmm.
I go back to the preseason game I went to back on August the 13th. There was a lot of red and gold in that stadium, and I told people, and I told my buddy who's a diehard Raider fan, has been since the glory days. I told him, I said, you know for a fact, if we were in Oakland, California, this would not happen. As well as Steeler fans travel, if this game was played in Oakland, maybe a third of Steeler fans would be in there from what you saw inside that stadium. It's again the love affair between the city of Oakland and its fans with the Raiders is unparalleled, bar none. Yes, LA has their love for the Raiders when they were in LA, but it was hard for them to sell out the 90,000 plus
Yeah, the
Coliseum.
college. I'm
It
sorry.
just couldn't happen. Like the last couple of years when they were in LA, they had to tarp off a lot of other sections just so they wouldn't be blacked out on local TV when you had blackouts, which was the
Mm-hmm.
same cause when they moved back to Oakland because it was hard to fill up Mount Davis, which is why it was tarped off the last few years when they were
That
in
shouldn't have got,
Oakland. It's
that
just
shouldn't have got built. I'm sorry.
winning cures everything, as they would say. Winning is the ultimate cure.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
yes, Mount Davis should have not gotten built. The way the old configuration of the Coliseum was back in the 70s, early 80s, could have worked, should have worked. Um, I've always said if you could put Allegiant Stadium minus the roof where the Coliseum sits now,
Yes.
could you imagine that black hole? I mean, could you imagine that? You put that stadium without the
Yeah,
roof at
yeah,
the
in Oakland.
Coliseum site on 66th and Hettenberger in Oakland.
Yeah, yeah.
It would be a prime home field advantage. But again, at the end of the day, the Raiders have to win. Okay, because
That's it.
again, perfect example. Before the Raiders got here, before the Golden Knights got here, UNLV was the only sports ticket in town. And then when they were going hard in the Tarkanian years, the Thomas and Mack would fill up every single game night. It's not like
Yeah.
that now, the Thomas Mack. Why? Because the Running Rebels, who's my favorite college basketball team, they haven't been winning consistently. If they start winning consistently, they will pack the Mac again. If the
Well,
Raiders become consistently, go ahead.
yeah. Well, I was going to piggyback on what you were saying. What you were saying, the Las Vegas Aces. Look, they won a title. They're back in the finals. The Golden Knights
Yes,
have been making it to the playoffs, and I believe didn't they?
four,
They won the Stanley Cup, right? They have the Stanley
four,
Cup.
four of their first 6 years, they made the playoffs. They won the Stanley Cup this past season.
Yep. So there it
Their
is.
very first,
That's
their very first season, they appeared in the Stanley Cup Finals, lost to
yeah.
Alexander Ovechkin. But the thing is, they said Vegas could be a professional sports town. It can't because the Golden Knights are winning. They've been consistent, and they sell out T-Mobile Arena every home game they get. Again,
And
you
the
have
Aces
to
are
win,
playing good
and the
good
and
basketball.
the Aces are
And
good. They're
so
favorite.
to
They're favorite to repeat again.
exactly. So to piggyback off
So
what my brother said to answer the question, Vegas don't give the Raiders love. Yes, they do, but I don't think that the Vegas has the market as Raider fans, like LA does, has Oakland does. So, like my brother said, they look at the schedule. If that's your fan base, they're like, oh, they're playing the Raiders that weekend. Let's go to Vegas that weekend. Fly out Friday, hang out for a little bit, watch the game Sunday, leave. The stadium
because
was
I
built
guarantee you the same
towards
thing.
market.
The same thing is going to happen if the Oakland A's come out here too,
I
because
agree.
you build that stadium,
Hmm.
81 home games a year. You know Yankees fans travel. You know Red Sox fans travel.
Yep.
It's nothing
Yeah.
but a drive for Angel fans to make the drive from Anaheim to up here.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of
Same with
Giants
that.
fans in Vegas.
So,
There's a bunch the Dodgers
yeah.
and
So
Giants.
yeah,
So
yeah. So I would say they'd be like, oh, when they come to Vegas, so let's go to Vegas for the game state. Let's go for that weekend, or let's go for that series. It's gonna happen. But again, if you win, again, winning cures all. But you have, but again, I keep harping on this. You have to win. The Raiders have to win. The Raiders really haven't been consistent in winning from since the '60s to the mid '80s. It's been hard times for the Raiders, and it sucks because they have a tremendous history and tradition, unlike any other team in sports. They do. All the Hall of Famers that have come through that turn that have played on that field. Of course,
yeah.
John Madden, the late John Madden, still has the highest winning percentage for a head coach in NFL history. Man
Hmm.
never had a losing season, just like Mike Tomlin. He's never had a losing season. It's just
Yes.
something has to change with the culture. I don't know who you go out there to get, but it's quite apparent
I don't know.
that Josh McDaniels it is not the answer. So it's like, yes, again, you have to go back to the drawing board because if McDaniel's not the answer, who is? And I know that's the person Dave Ziegler wanted. That was his boy. That they were college teammates, but it's not panning out, and something has to give because again, just to do the next 5 games for the Raiders, if I may do so, if technology would not be a pain in the butt.
Okay, and this is at a 1-3 record. So here we go. Well, we already know
Okay,
they got the Packers coming up on Monday
so
night. So
next Monday night they got the Packers at home. Okay,
mhm.
then the week after that the Patriots come to Vegas.
Mac Jones to
Then
beat
after
Tom
that,
Brady.
you go to Chicago and play the Bears, who are
Oh,
winless.
Matt Fields is just gonna have a spectacular running game. And he just go. They might as well just keep Chase Claypool and let him out there and run routes. He'll get his shit together.
Then Monday night in Detroit against the Lions. And you don't think the Lions game is not going to be heavy for that?
So you can already mark me down for the Lions winning that game.
Then after that, it's 2 weeks against East Rutherford. The Giants at home first, and the Jets the week after.
Darren Waller gonna get a $180, 2 touchdowns if he's healthy. Daniel Jones gonna throw for
Then you have
350. And hell, Saquon
the
Barkley might
Jets
be
after
healthy. Bro, Zach Wilson. Hey, Zach Wilson gonna be over there. They gonna give him the mink coat.
He's going to be Joe Willie Namath. Then after that, you got the Dolphins. Hi, Tyreek Hill in Miami.
So what?
Then
They
the
scored.
Chiefs.
Wait. They scored 70 on Denver. Psh, they might as well
Correct.
get the scoreboard ready. They might as well get the scoreboard ready.
Then the Vikings
Tua
at
might
home. Then
Tua
the
might throw for 500 yards.
Vikings after that, or then the Chiefs after that, then the Vikings, then the Chargers, then the Chiefs again, then the Colts, and then you finish the season at home against the Broncos.
3-14.
Wow. Wow. So who are those two victories, those other two will be against, in your opinion?
They might beat the Colts, but Richardson might run up and down the field. That might be. They might beat the Colts, and you know what? For some odd reason, they might sweep the Broncos because guess what? The Broncos ain't beat us in. So yeah, there it is.
So you're saying both Broncos games, and then maybe the Bears.
No,
All right.
the
Well,
Colts. I said the
you wanted to
Colts.
talk about this? Oh, the Colts. I'm sorry. You said the
Justin,
horseshoes.
like
I'm
I said,
sorry.
Justin Fields
So
is
you
gonna
want to talk
look
about
like Jim McMahon.
Jim McMahon? Oh boy, one of the all-time greats. But since you wanted to talk about Arlington versus Santa Clara, it is the Sunday night game of the week, and the old rivalry is renewed once again. As we thank you to Ghost to 25 for asking that question, we appreciate you.
Yes, thank
And
you.
to the two viewers that are watching us, we appreciate you as well. And this is
Still
episode
rocking with
109 of
us.
the Mizzle and Dub Show. Very glad you're with us. Um, I, as far as a mid-season matchup and a test to see where you're at, it really does get no better than the Cowboys and 49ers. The Cowboys bouncing
Is
back, being the
this a
Patriots.
primetime game? Prime time?
It is Sunday night on NBC. You'll get Tarico and you'll get Chris Collinsworth.
Are we going live? Are we going live?
Uh, hmm. Well, I'll be at a friend's house watching the game, but we
Oh,
possibly
okay,
could go
that's
live.
okay. We can talk about it after you get home.
That works too. Um,
I don't
yes,
know.
Ghost to
It might be
25.
in my
Thank you
house
for
too.
coming
So
in. Yeah, Ghost to 25. Thank you for coming in and asking the question and interacting with us. We really appreciate it. Um, to those that are watching, feel free to interact with us some more. Um, don't be afraid to ask us questions about any sport or any topic about any team. We will answer it to the best of our God-given ability because that's just what we do. Um, Obviously, the press conference with Dak, he was trying to give him some motivation because he asked him a question about, how frustrating was it the last time he played the Niners. Um, the Niners certainly did not
Elliott
look
was
ahead. Neither did the Cowboys. So neither team did not look ahead, which is a good thing. Um, You have two very good defenses. Although the Niners have scored 30 in every game that they've played so far, I'm not
And
expecting that. I'm
great.
expecting like a 21-17, 17-13 type of a game.
Ooh.
Just because I think it's going to come down to execution of the run. I really think both defenses will be as will be as stout as they can be because both defenses are very very good. Certainly, you have the two best pass rushers in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not to exclude T.J. Watt because T.J. Watt is fantastic. But you got two
Mm-hmm.
of the best pass rushers in the game, Micah Parsons and Nicholas Jonathan Bosa. Um,
Okay. I'm glad you brought that up. But now let me take control of the show real quick and start asking you questions since we talk about your team against this.
okay,
So,
okay.
do you think the Dallas defense can contain Christian McCaffrey? And on top of that, that's question 1A. Now I got question 1B with that. Given that not Stephon Diggs,
Trevon,
the
Trayvon Diggs.
Trayvon Diggs is not there. That makes a big difference because now Ayuk Debo can now get, there's no threat with their corners. Yeah, we know who Michael Parsons is. He's that man. But do you think they can contain Christian McCaffrey and your weapons on your team? And this is not being a hater. This is being a sports kind of guy trying to ask you questions.
All right, so can they contain Christian McCaffrey? They would want to because if they
100%.
don't, he's going to find the end zone like he did 4 times yesterday against the Cardinals. I, McCaffrey's running sets up Brock Purdy to throw the ball efficiently because again, Brock was 20 of 21 against the. He only missed one ball, one, and Brandon Ayuk, welcome back, had a fantastic game. But I'll say this now: Debo hasn't gone off receiving wise until last week against the Giants.
No, no.
Do not be shocked if it's George Kittle that goes off on Sunday because George Kittle hasn't really been featured in the pass game yet. If he gets established on Sunday against the Cowboys, that's going to be a problem for the Cowboys. Now we know who Tony Pollard is. He is that guy. They've got to contain him. But the main thing is you have to shut them down on third downs, and of course you have to rattle Dak. Now if Drake Jackson can get pressure and complement Bosa as the second pass rusher, it's going to be very hard for the Cowboys to pull it off. Can they do it? Absolutely. Their defense is that good, and when they decide to get their mind right, they can be one of the best teams in football. I know the Niners will be prepared. I know Shanahan will have a plan for his former head coach that they work under in Dan Quinn because Dan Quinn is the DC for the Cowboys and McCarthy does call the plays. But I think it's going to come down to two things: who controls the trenches, who turns
Yep.
the ball over. But can
Yep.
the Cowboys contain CMC? I don't know because if they don't, then that's going to open up lanes for Jordan Mason. That's going to open up lanes for Elijah Mitchell if Mitchell returns. If I'm Brock, I don't try to overdo it. I would stick to the same game plan that you had against the Cardinals because it worked efficiently. But I'm expecting a hard-nosed, rock'em sock'em, tough defensive game. That's just what I expect. Because again, we got two good defenses, and you got these two teams. Now, granted, it will never be like it was with their rivalry in the '90s. We get that, we understand it, we respect it. That's not going to happen again. Not with all those Hall of Famers. But
Yeah.
the build-up for the rivalry for this rendition of Cowboys and Niners has been good stuff because again, like I said, they are both cornerstone franchises in the NFC. For 3 years, you knew that these two were going to play in the quote-unquote real Super Bowl, which a lot of times it was because the winner of that game, they were winning the Lombardi Trophy. Don't care who
Agreed.
you are. Um,
Agreed. Agreed.
here's the one thing I don't like. Here's the one thing that I don't like that the Niners are doing. You, I know McCaffrey's your focal point, but you can't overuse him. Spell him sometimes. Put in Jordan Mason. Put in Elijah Mitchell. Let them
When you say you got
get some
Elijah Mitchell
carries
back,
so
yeah.
you can have a freshly. You can utilize and make sure that McCaffrey gets reps for the stretch run, mainly the fourth quarter. Um, we'll just see. I'm expecting a very tough physical game. I'm expecting a good game, and obviously, I'm picking my team, but I'm going to pick them to win by 3 or 4 points. I think the game will just be too close. It'll, it'll
Ooh.
be it'll be back and forth. It'll be a good fight, but I think somewhere in the middle of the championship rounds, the Niners will find a way to get out with the win by 3 or 4.
Okay. Well, I'll say my pick with that one just to wrap it up so we can get up out of here because somebody got to go to work tomorrow. I'll say it will be close. Nah, I think I got you guys winning by 10 at least.
Interesting.
Yeah, I
Very
don't think
interesting.
I don't think the wife gonna watch this episode, so we might be good. Yeah, because she's a Cowboy fan.
Well,
But it will
there
will
is
be
there is one more game to pick. Well, not pick, but there is one more game to be decided: the Seahawks and the Giants. Which, by the way, Zach
who
Wilson
did I?
played very well.
Yes, and you
We
know
both
what?
picked Seattle.
If we're gonna talk about Zach Wilson real quick, I'm glad you brought that up because
Yes.
I saw a video to where he owned up to where not of course a quarterback's gonna say, but he said the fumble that cost him the game, and he said that
Yes.
this
The
game is
fumble.
all up on me.
He can't. He can't.
Yeah,
Yeah, he can't. He said he can't drop the ball. He can't do that. That's a real sign of maturity. But he actually threw the ball well. Their touchdown drive that they did to tie the game, threw the ball well. Garrett Wilson, that catch on the sideline, I don't know how he had the concentration to hold on to the ball after it was bobbling in his hands, but still manages to get a feet and a knee in. It's amazing. I
and
still
well,
think
I'll
they
say
need to
this.
utilize Brees Hall a little more because Brees Hall is showing you that he is still that guy.
Yeah,
But as you're,
yeah.
you're trying to make your point, go ahead.
This was the game to where I said the referees was horrible. My man was
Yes.
clearly holding.
Oh yeah,
The man was.
Johnson was getting held for his life. Yes,
I mean, even though they
but
could have, if they were going to say they weren't going to call holding because the man was smacking his helmet because he's like, "Hey, I'm getting held," but that man was that you can't do that on national TV. You well,
no,
you
you
know what?
can't.
You know what? I take that back. My
Actually, you
team got
can, and then you'll
embarrassed
end up
with
like
an
Angel
index
Hernandez.
card. You are well, or you get hit with an index card. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You went there. Oh my goodness.
Well, that
He
was on
he
Sunday
he
Night
went
Football.
there. Yes, it was. I remember it well. I was actually coming home from a Niner game, watching that game at a restaurant I was eating at, so I remember it vividly. Um, I don't know. Something has got to change. Something has got to give because again, like I said, this fan base is frustrated. Like I said, it's a very loyal fan base. It's one of the best fan bases of football. It's a travel fan base. Anywhere you go, when the Raiders are on the road, you see Raider representation all throughout the stands. It's uncanny. But again, if you the guy you think is out there, then get him. It's the same
Well,
thing
see,
with
I
your
don't know.
quarterback. If your quarterback is not,
I don't know. I don't know. And I'm just saying, if they're saying they're taking for Caleb Williams, I'm like, well, this coaching staff can't coach nobody. So why would you take for Caleb Williams? He's not going to be the savior.
and that's even if Caleb Williams wants to come there because if it's not a
Oh,
contending
he
team, he'll be
has
like, no, I'm not going.
that. Yep. He's going to Eli
Him
it.
and his him Him and his he'll do the Eli and get some red hot. I'm telling you, put that on everything. But anyhow, to our three viewers that are watching, we appreciate you watching us. As we already say goodbye, that's not goodbye. I would say so long for now. We will come back later on and do our Week 5 prediction show. Talk about Week 5. Talk about the matchups on Week 5. Elaborate a little bit more on the Cowboys 49ers. That's the Sunday night game. And actually, we do have some more early morning football next week with the Jaguars and Bills doing it one more time. Yes,
Yes,
the
the
Jaguars. I'm pretty
Jaguars
sure
are staying in
I don't.
London. Yeah, they're staying out there.
Yes. Now I want to know is this in England or is it in Germany? Let me make sure.
Oh, well, I know they're staying wherever the game was because this game was in London, correct?
Yes, correct. It was
Okay,
at Wembley Stadium. Yes,
they're staying in London.
for lack of a better term, yes. All right, let me just make sure here for the Jaguars. Yes, so it's an NFL Network game between the Bills and the Jags. Bills 3-1, Jaguars 2-2, and that's it. That's the last sort of kind of doubleheader early game per se. So yeah, all right, makes sense. But we will come back later on today and we will preview week 5 of the NFL season. Go over what we saw with the Monday night game between the Giants and the Seahawks, and just talk about. Well, you speaking of that, Ghosta, there is a wrestling podcast that I host with our good friend JP from the Opera Jaffos called the Ring Psychology Podcast 2.0. It's been on hiatus
Oh,
lately, but we will come back. But you can catch the Wrestling 2.0 podcast. You can catch that on Thursdays at 7. Now, I don't know if we're going to be on this Thursday. We will send a link if you know, which, speaking of which, um, Adam Copeland, better known to y'all as Edge, is now all elite. AEW
mm,
had their pay per view in Seattle, paying tribute to the legendary Antonio Inoki. And in the main event, it was Christian Cage against Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. And towards the end of the show, you think you know me, and out of nowhere comes
unseen.
Edge, and the whole arena in Seattle goes crazy as he comes in there and he comes to the aid of Sting and Darby Allin after Nick Wayne turns on Darby. We'll see how that story goes along. But yeah, Adam Copeland, better known as Edge, WWE Hall of Famer, is now in All Elite Wrestling in AEW, which is
Good for
quite
him.
quite
Mm,
the shocker. But again, good for him. It's somewhere different. We'll see what happens. I mean, that was the rumor floating around for a long time, and then it came into fruition tonight or yesterday was as he makes his AEW debut, which now will make Dynamite and Rampage and Collision a little bit more interesting now, heading
A
up
little
for
bit.
months down the road. But for Richard Pryor, I'm Double A. We thank you to our 3 viewers for watching, and we thank you to our viewers for coming in and leaving some comments. We appreciate it. Like I said, any comment or any subject that you want us to tackle in the sports world, let us know because, like I said, we do this show for y'all. So we hope you enjoyed watching as much as we enjoyed bringing it to you. For Richard Pryor, who's coming to us live from his sunroom in Folsom, California, for Mizzle, I am Dub. This is episode 109 of the Mizzle Dub Show, and we will come back later on today. Don't know what time, but we will give you a preview and rundown week 5 of the NFL season. And as
Indeed.
always, it is 12:05 o'clock. Sometime.